Hello everyone, Ozzymitsu here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you another episode of my Evolution Solution series. Last time we looked at Sandslash and Alolan Sandslash, and by the majority vote the one that was the most requested for this week's video was Golem and Alolan Golem, so that's exactly what we're going to be covering today. And next week I'll finish off the regional variant comparisons, so keep your eyes peeled for that one too. But let's switch it up a little bit. Let's start with the Alolan variant first for a bit of variation. Nudge nudge, see what I did there?
Just stick to being a trash PokeTuber, you're not even funny. By the way, I've made a Twitter account which you should totally follow me on. The link to my Twitter account has been provided in the description below.
Wow, shameless plug much? Alright Becky, mind telling us a little bit about Alolan Golem?
Alolan Golem, it fires rocks charged with electricity. Even if the rock isn't fired that accurately, just grazing an opponent will cause numbness and fainting.
Alolan Golem evolves from Alolan Graveler when traded. It is a rock electric type, which means it is weak to fighting, water, grass, and has a 4 times weakness to ground. It has no immunities whilst resisting normal, poison, fire, electric, and has a quarter resistance to flying. Looking at its stats, it has an impressive base 130 defense stat, which is typical for a rock type, whilst being able to hit hard with a physical attack stat of a base 120. The rest of the stats aren't anything to write home about though, and its speed is abysmal, but I guess Alolan Golem would be fantastic in Trick Room. Alolan Golem has 3 abilities. One of its primary abilities are Magnet Pull, which prevents steel types from switching out unless they have a part ghost typing. Its secondary ability is Sturdy, which essentially works like the Pokemon holding a focus sash. It cannot be knocked out in one hit. One hit KO moves like Sheer Cold and Fissure doesn't knock it out either. Its hidden ability is Galvanize, which converts normal type moves into electric type attacks, whilst providing a 20% power boost. Through level up, Alolan Golem learns a host of physical moves, complementing its stats. But looking at its egg moves, a certain move that caught my eye was Wide Guard, which could provide some great defensive sustain against anyone running Earthquake. Let's migrate to Pokemon Showdown to see what we can do with this dude. What I was thinking was give it Stealth Rock, Stone Edge, Wild Charge and Explosion, holding the Custard Berry. The idea here is to use Wild Charge to slowly get your HP down. When you're in a bit of a pinch, you get to use Explosion with increased priority, and a Galvanized boosted Explosion is going to do a lot of damage. In terms of an EV spread, honestly I'd just go for 252 EVs in attack, 252 in defense, and give it some speed investment to break any speed ties if you're up against another mon using an increased priority move, and just pray if you're in the same priority bracket that your speed investment works out. However, I'm not 100% with this spread, so feel free to suggest a better investment in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to pin the best suggestion to avoid fooling anyone who is listening to my awful set, because really, what do I know? But on a serious note, it really depends on what you need on your team as a whole. If you want some quick and easy damage with Explosion, or if you want something that will tank at least a couple of physical hits, whilst you set up some entry hazards, it's completely up to you. Let's move on to Cantonian Golem. Becky, mind helping me out with this one?
Golem, a Megaton Pokemon. Once a year it sheds its bedrock shell and grows larger.
Golem evolves from Graveler when traded. I have a really cringeworthy story about Golem where I cried that my brother took my Graveler away from me because he traded it over onto his game. After kicking up such a fuss for hours and hours, my brother eventually gave it back to me. He knew that Graveler was a trade evolution and wanted to surprise me, and to my amazement, I saw my awesome Lick It Pocket Monster fully evolved. And I kid you not, I had the biggest smile on my face. I cringed looking back at it because I cried so much because I thought my precious Graveler had been stolen from me. Anyway, it's a rock ground type, which means it is weak to fighting, ground, steel, ice, and has 2 4 times weaknesses to both water and grass. Yikes! It takes no effect from electric type attacks whilst resisting normal, flying, rock, fire, and does have a quarter resistance to poison. It has the exact same stat distribution as its Alolan brethren, so no real changes there. However, it does have different abilities. Its primary ability is Rock Head, which negates recoil damage from moves such as Double Edge. It also has the ability Sturdy like Alolan Golem, which prevents Golem from being knocked out in one hit, and its hidden ability Sand Veil, which boosts its evasiveness in a sandstorm, which honestly is completely useless. Let's go into Pokemon Showdown to see how we can make this little dude work. Honestly, this is a pretty common set, which isn't anything special or groundbreaking, but it's overused for a reason. It just works. Sturdy, Weakness Policy Golem, say no more. The idea here is to set up Rock Polish on the first turn, which raises your speed by 2 stages. If you get hit super effectively, which you most likely will with those weaknesses, you'll get taken down to 1 HP. Weakness Policy activates and bam, go all guns blazing with the insane amount of damage you'll inflict on your opponent. In terms of your actual moveset, I would go for a Stab Stone Edge or Rock Slide along with EQ and any other moves of your choice here. I saw it gets access to Steamroller, which is pretty interesting, but you can run Sucker Punch if you want some priority sustain on your team. I will say, because this set is so common, you're either shut down by taunt users, Pokemon like Scizor who can set up in your face with a sword stance and shut you down with a priority bullet punch, or multi-attacking moves like Bullet Seed. However, just because they are counters to your strategy doesn't mean it's useless, so I'd definitely give this a go. I'd probably run the Jolly Nature here with max EVs in attack and speed, with the rest of the investment in HP or physical defense, and you're good to go. Reviewing the two from an analytics standpoint, I feel they're both great in their own right. In terms of typing, they both have a lot of weaknesses, good amount of resistances, and as long as they're not being hit super effectively, can easily fit the niche of a good physical wall. They can also both be used very well in a Sandstorm team with an Assault Vest, for vastly superior special defense whilst dealing a good amount of damage. Their stats are identical and their move pools are very similar. Through level up, Cantonian Golem learns more rock and ground moves naturally, whilst Alolan Golem learns mainly electric and rock moves, though their move pools can be expanded with the use of TMs. I wouldn't say any of the two outclass each other in this department. The real deal breaker is with their abilities. Whilst both forms get great abilities like Sturdy and Rockhead, I think Alolan Golem has a slight edge due to its Galvanize ability, turning all normal type moves into electric type moves with a 20% power boost. And honestly, it complements the type of role it'll play on your team as a powerhouse, though Sturdy is another really good option. So from this analysis, I'd say just by a few points Alolan Golem is a stronger mon, but it's very situational in how it's better if you wanted to use it as a physical bulky sweeper, because it can easily be argued Cantonian Golem can do anything its Alolan counterpart can do without Galvanize, so it's a real tough one. However, taking its usefulness out of the question, I prefer Cantonian Golem. What about you guys? Which of the two do you prefer? Let me know by dropping a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And on that note, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave it a big thumbs up as that really does help me out, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel to become an Aussie What Today. But make sure to follow me on Twitter and Twitch for further Pokemon shenanigans, and with all of that being said, I'll see you guys very soon.